And we are going live with Dragon Age Inquisition. As soon as it loads up. Which, let me, oh. Let me get the actual controller connected. That way we can actually use the controller as needed. Otherwise, it'll be a waste of time. Close all other windows and get ready to party. Here we are. So yeah, the problem seemed to have been controller issues. I don't know if I need now 2 sets of controllers, buy another 360 controller for older games, and keep my Xbox One controller for newer games. Oh, that doesn't. Don't like that. Not a good idea. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Right? Mm-hmm. So last time we were about to confront the Magistrate. Let's into Magistrate, who apparently has taken over Redcliffe. The whole thing with taking over Redcliffe is kind of weird. I find it weird because it just got handed over to the mages, and the mages then kicked out the lord they're in, and there's talk about that. Yeah. Although I do like how they wrote the whole Mage Templar thing. I guess they were going for the grayer, literally gray and gray morality at first, but they were enough to introduce some. They actually were able to introduce in the writing. Okay. I'm gonna have to reload because it didn't detect. Oh, just close. Just have to close. I always mess it up. But that's one of the things I hate about using a client like Origin. You have to go through the client to get the thing to the and Origins is not the best client. And I always forget a step, like connecting the controller. Yes, I know I could use keyboard and mouse, and in fact, keyboard and mouse is a bit better because you get all your abilities. It's just the feel of it. It works well enough, I think, in Origins, but not. I like it. I like control. I got used to the control in 360, and once I get used to control, it's kind of hard to go back to. Now let's press start. Now going back to something else is like, don't wanna. I don't wanna. Oh, the music. The music is awesome. Well, let's talk about giants. Remember, I was talking about giants the earlier stream. And if you look at the giants that were just added to the lore of Dragon Age, Skyrim, of course, they're basically all Cyclops, so they have these tusks. Well, if you look at the bones of a petrified mammoth from the front, what would you notice? You notice this giant hole in the middle, right? Some scientists believe that the legends of dragons and other fantastical creatures are tied to finding of fossils. And that was an attempt to understand what they were. And the ancients, the ancient Greeks and others, knew that these were very old things, perhaps millennia, in the time before time, right before history, because it wasn't a living memory that seen these giants. So say, oh, this must be a Cyclops, right? Because that giant hole, of course, is for the trunk, but the trunk didn't survive. It wasn't preserved, and so we have the bones. And so I think that inspired the designers of Inquisition to say, okay, we're gonna have giants, we're gonna make them Cyclops, but also gonna acknowledge the fact that they have tusks like elephants. with some very weird and unique design. Again, history and fantasy can all. I love when people use history or historical not only facts but theories and ideas and incorporate them into their fantasy, right? Uh, it's like incorporating actual science facts or things in science fiction. It's like, oh, this is a pretty cool stuff, you know. Let's go with that. Okay, we're in the hinterlands.
Very well.
Yeah, here it's a bit glitchy. You know, you can see that it stops a little bit, and I think it's because there's so many people running around. It isn't as smooth as, and I haven't touched any of the controls or anything like that. Not of heroes, Mafarath, and sacrifice.
Welcome, agents of the Inquisition. First Enchanter Vivienne?
My dear Fiona, it's been so long since we last spoke. You look dreadful. Are you sleeping well?
What has brought you to Redcliffe?
We're here because of your invitation back in Val Royeaux.
You must be mistaken. I haven't been to Val Royeaux since before the Conclave.
Well, that's very strange, because someone who looked exactly like you spoke to me in Val Royeaux a few days ago.
Exactly like me? I suppose it could be magic at work, but why would anyone... Whoever or whatever brought you here? The situation has changed. The Free Mages have already pledged themselves to the service of the Tevinter Imperium.
This right here is why you can't trust mages.
Fiona, dear, your dementia is showing.
I understand that you are afraid, but you deserve better than slavery to Tevinter.
As one indentured to a Magister, I no longer have the authority to negotiate with you.
An alliance with Tevinter is a terrible mistake.
All hope of peace died with Justinia. This bargain with Tevinter would not have been my first choice, but we had no choice. We are losing this war. I needed to save as many of my people as I could.
Welcome, my friends. I apologize for not greeting you earlier.
Agents of the Inquisition, allow me to introduce Magister Girion Alexius.
The Southern Mages are under my command. And you are the survivor, yes? The one from the Fade? Interesting.
I haven't seen any sign of Redcliffe's Arl or his men.
The Arl of Redcliffe left the village. There were tensions growing. I did not want an incident.
I'd like to know more about this alliance between the rebel mages and the Imperium.
Certainly. What specifically do you wish to know?
The Grand Enchanter told me she was indentured to a Magister.
Our Southern brethren have no legal status in the Imperium. As they were not born citizens of Tevinter, they must work for a period of 10 years before gaining full rights. As their protector, I shall oversee their work for the Imperium.
I'm not clear on when exactly you negotiated this arrangement with Fiona.
When the Conclave was destroyed, these poor souls faced the brutality of the Templars, who rushed to attack them. It could only be through divine providence that I arrived when I did.
It was certainly very timely.
What does the Imperium gain from taking rebel mages under its wing?
For the moment, the Southern Mages are a considerable expense. After they are properly trained, they will join our legion.
You said not all my people would be military. There are children, those not suited.
And one day I'm sure they will all be productive citizens of the Imperium when their debts are paid.
If you're leading the mages now, then let's talk. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
It is always a pleasure to meet a reasonable man.
I don't see how she was able to just hand them over. I mean, she seems desperate enough, but it's
Felix,
just like,
would you send for a
if you're
scribe,
fighting for
please?
freedom,
Pardon my
it reminds
My
me
son
of
Felix, friend.
the Geth in Mass
I'm not
Effect 3.
surprised you're here. Containing the breach is not a feat that many could even attempt.
But I
There
can
is
see
no
the
telling
AI
how many
making the
mages
decision,
would
but
be
not
needed for such an
thinking
endeavor.
organics
Ambitious
in a fantasy setting.
Does that mean you'll lend your mages to our cause?
There will have to be. Felix,
My lord, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
are you all right?
I'm fine, Father.
Come, I'll get your powders. Please excuse me, friends. We will have to continue this another time.
That was
Fiona,
not
I require your
strange.
assistance back at the castle.
I don't mean to trouble everyone.
Especially someone who had been a former Grey Warden. That's the thing.
I shall send
Fiona
word to the
was a Grey.
Inquisition. We will conclude this business at a later date.
And clearly there are more mages, but then again they would have to fight against the Devinters and the Templars.
Come to the Chantry. You are in danger.
The Magister's son dropped that. Be cautious, Inquisitor. Family name is everything in Tevinter.
We'll be careful, but we need to figure out what's going on here.
See here, yeah.
I remember you. You were a few years ahead of me in the Ostwick Circle. Really come up in the world, right? Marked by Andraste, ordering Templars about. Must be nice.
And you are...
Linnea. I'm not surprised you don't remember me. You were the perfect apprentice, and I barely passed my harrowing. You were the one the first enchanter chose to send to stop the Conclave. I was the one he left here. You're the chosen of Andraste, and I'm just me.
I never meant to make you feel bad.
Forget it. The Magister's not going to fall for you. We're with Tevinter now, where people respect every mage.
You'd rather bow to Tevinter than join the Inquisition.
Don't tell me you bought the Chantry's lies about how evil Tevinter is. It's just because they're ruled by mages. No one wants us to look at them and say their mages are free and the world hasn't ended.
Don't Magisters summon demons and practice human sacrifice?
The Chantry says whatever they think will scare us. What's wrong with blood magic? People don't like the idea of us controlling their thoughts, but they have no problem with us throwing fireballs in their wars. In Tevinter, the mages police themselves. It works.
I want to make sure we're never locked away in circle towers again.
Right. And I'm the Empress of Orlais.
Well,
Magister Alexius wishes only mages to remain in Redcliffe. He will approve of you. He does not approve of me. Many villagers have already left to escape his ire.
What does the Magister have against you?
He does not like to be reminded of what mages can become. He says all tranquil must leave Redcliffe, but who would take us in?
I didn't realize. From your speech, I should have recognized you as Tranquil.
Yes, my talent for magic was insufficient to protect me from demons. Rather than risk me becoming possessed, the Circle removed my connection to the Fade. My magic is gone, along with my dreams and desires. Those now in Redcliffe prefer not to see us.
How long have Tevinters been here?
it's interesting that here magic comes from another another dimension, which is the Fade, right?
Save those he required to serve him. Even the Arl was sent
But
away.
we don't have we have mages but no priests.
Farewell then.
One moment. You are a member of the Inquisition, are you not? I am an alchemist. You must require potions. If the Magister will not have me here, perhaps I can offer my services.
We would be delighted to have you working for the Inquisition.
Thank you. While one lives, it is good to believe there is still a use for one's talents.
The crows and Queen Madrigal. The first crow refused to speak even when he put hot coals on the soles of his feet and peeled his skin. Ugh. He opted instead to chew through his own tongue and choked to death on the blood. Second captain repeated what he already knew. Queen Madrigal went on a hunt and did not appear on the evening festivities. Her body was later found with 4 steel swords through her chest. Through the chest, I asked what he knew about one of the 4 swords being a replica of Hestian's Tarian Sword of Mercy. He had not heard about that, or at least claimed as much. He later died on the rack, smiling slightly. Amid all the useless chatter, the ruthless vision and discreet, how would they maintain such notoriety if agents routinely reveal the names of the employers with something as banal as torture? This gives me pause. I call for a halt to the session after some ties stabbed the man through the heart and set the 4th and 5th crow captives free. If there is a confession to be extracted, it will not be done with pain. I recommend we abandon this course of action. Report by Captain Aristide, tasked with investigating the assassination of Queen Madrigal of Antiva.
Inquisition, huh? I wish to holy Andraste you'd gotten here sooner. These Tevinters make my shoulder blades itch.
You're not happy with this new alliance?
Something's not right about that lot. They're not like
how are you doing, Dexter? A bit of... Well, that's the thing about lore, isn't it?
Stand with Magisters.
Yeah, I like this game. We're basically on the role-playing aspect of it. There's some cool lore. Lots of it, actually.
Lived my whole life there.
And quite a bit of books to read them, too.
3 meals a day, quality education, a roof over my head. If you're not summoning demons, a mage tower's a fine place to be.
If you were happy in the circle, why are you here with the rebels?
Of course it does. It's a BioWare game.
The vote saw to that. The majority wanted to dissolve the circles. The rest of us went with them and were cut loose.
There are still some of us who are loyal in the Empress's court.
I figured I'm better off with my fellow mages than on my own.
How did the Grand Enchanter end up working with Tevinter?
1 minute, we were bracing for the Templars to attack. The next, we had a Magister ally. It was a stroke of luck that's given us an edge. In a way. Out of the frying pan.
Goodbye.
And into the fire.
Be careful. The Tevinters likely aren't happy you're asking questions.
Of course they're not. Because they're lying to my face. Sorry. This one is very interesting. The annulment of Darius Moon. You heard injustice against our fellow mages, the White Spy, the Circle of Major, and Valoreo. I fear that what was common circle of Darius small and insulated is the largest facades of Priest of Chantry. Also, it's very interesting that the game does paint a picture that not all circles are the same, right? And that while the idea of that magic is treated differently, they have seers and stuff like that, so it's not uniform, right? It's like, okay, everybody's in a circle and everybody gets brutalized, and you know, essentially in some places the circle is just kept as, like I said, like a facade, right? And they can marry and stuff like that. So it actually is a very, at least I find it lore-wise very interesting. Now we're going to find out if that note that we got is a trap. And here's where the game slows down just a bit because there's so many people here. Elf root. Elf root. Elf root.
I don't like this.
But look at the sky and those stories about all that magic and the conclave.
Can you see the rift from the sky from here? The chantry. Well, it's all optional. You don't have to read the books, right? It's just it does have a lot of, it's basically one of those situations like Skyrim, something like, where it sort of has all these little books everywhere that give you bits and pieces of lore. You don't have to read them all. You can talk to the characters, and characters
Good.
will give you
You're
most of them.
finally here. Now help me close this, would you?
Dorian. This is the action part. I mean, I like it. The conversations can be pretty extensive, or not, as it may be. It's a typical Bioware game, so yes. If not too much in the chatter, then yeah.
Fascinating. How does that work exactly? You don't even know, do you? You just wiggle your fingers and boom. Rift closes.
Who are you?
Ah, getting ahead of myself again, I see. Dorian of House Parvus, most recently of Minrathous. How do you do?
Watch yourself. The pretty ones are always the worst.
Suspicious friends you have here.
Pretty one?
Magister Alexius was once my mentor. So
This
my
is closer
assistance
to most
should be
Mass
valuable,
Effect games.
as I'm sure you can imagine.
I was expecting Felix to be here.
I'm sure he's on his way.
Very similar
He
conversation
was to give you the note,
system.
then meet us here after ditching his father.
Yeah.
Are you a Magister?
All right, let's say this once. I'm a mage from Tevinter, but not a member of the Magisterium. I know Southerners use the terms interchangeably, but that only makes you sound like barbarians.
You're betraying your mentor because...
Alexius was my mentor. Meaning he's not any longer, not for some time. Look, you must know there's danger. That should be obvious even without the note. Let's start with Alexius claiming the allegiance of the mage rebels out from under.
I think there's more people
As
to
if
talk
by
to.
magic,
I
yes?
think that is...
Which is exactly right.
Yeah, you find more people to
reach
talk to.
Redcliffe, before the Inquisition, Alexius distorted time itself.
I hope that's less dangerous than it sounds.
More. That is fascinating if true, and almost certainly dangerous.
The rift you closed here. You saw how it twisted time around itself, sped some things up and slowed others down. Soon, there will be more like it. And they'll appear further and further away from Redcliffe. The magic Alexius is using is wildly unstable.
I hope they do something with Dragon Age 4 with time magic.
You're asking me to take a lot on faith.
I know what I'm talking about. I helped develop this magic. When I was still his apprentice, it was pure theory. Alexius could never get it to work. What I don't understand is why he's doing it, ripping time to shreds just to gain a few hundred lackeys.
He didn't do it for them.
Took you long enough. Is he getting suspicious?
No, but I shouldn't have played the illness card. I thought he'd be fussing over me all day. My father's joined a cult, Tevinter Supremacists. They call themselves Venatori. And I can tell you one thing. Whatever he's done for them, he's done it to get to you.
Why would he rearrange time and indenture the Mage Rebellion just to get to me?
They're obsessed with you, but I don't know why. Perhaps because you survived the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
You can close the rifts. Maybe there's a connection. Or they see you as a threat.
If the Venatori are behind those rifts or the breach in the sky, they're even worse than I thought.
Alexius is your father. Why are you working against him?
For the same reason Dorian works against him. I love my father, and I love my country. But this? Cults? Time magic? What he's doing now is madness. For his own sake, you have to stop him.
It would also be nice if he didn't rip a hole in time. There's already a hole in the sky.
Do you have any suggestions?
You know you're his target. Expecting the trap is the first step in turning it to your advantage. I can't stay in Redcliffe. Alexius doesn't know I'm here, and I want to keep it that way for now. But whenever you're ready to deal with him...
I like Dorian. I like Dorian a lot.
I'll be in touch.
And he's, you know, the gay
try not to
boyfriend
get yourself
that you can
killed.
have if you wish to follow that path.
There are worse
Or
things
like him
than
enough to
dying,
actually
Dorian.
romance him. I almost romanced him once. Went for the kiss. But he's no. I play characters mostly heterosexually, so yeah. That's my gig. But Dorian is a great character. Funny, and he is the gay best friend, you know. Jagged battle axe. Poor Fennec. Oh, this Chantry has seen better days. Seen better days. So yeah, if you're worried, Dexter, if you're worried about way too many conversations, I think that you have more people to talk to, and that's how it goes. But it not necessarily being a bad thing. So that's the second to last person I need to recruit. Now I'm going to recruit someone else.
Gotta admit, I wasn't expecting to find so many Vints here.
I doubt they expected to find Canary here.
If you haven't played any of the Dragon Age games, I suggest you start with Dragon Age Origins. In fact, I suggest that you go Dragon Age Origins, skip...
The Inquisition. Thank the Maker you came. Tell me you're here to reinstate the circles and end this madness.
I thought this was the stronghold of the rebellion. Why do you want the circles back?
Play Origins, and then play Inquisition.
I'm a loyal Andrastian, and I deplore the chaos this war has wrought. The Templars rebelling, the murder of the Most Holy. I can scarce live with the guilt.
And what are you doing in Redcliffe?
The circles voted. Rebellion won out. What was I to do? Launch a counter-rebellion on my own? I followed my first Enchanter's lead, as I always have. She brought us here.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Hanley Dervain of the Cumberland Circle of Magi. I heard of your miraculous survival at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and I am so honored to meet you.
I take it you don't support the Tevinters?
Andraste's Ashes, never. They don't even sing the right chant. And they sacrifice children, don't they? I don't know how the Grand Enchanter could think of accepting their offer. You can get us out of this bargain, can't you? Before we're all shipped off to the Imperium like cattle.
I haven't seen anyone from Tevinter in the village.
They're all at the castle, plotting, no doubt.
Thank you for your time.
It's been an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Good day.
Okay, let's fast travel to here. And change characters. I don't think it's very easy to change characters and in this game, which is cool because you get different dialogues and like conversations between the characters. The banter is pretty cool.
We should search the area.
I've news, sir.
Okay, what do you want?
Dispatch for you.
What is it?
This may be worthwhile.
Okay, what do we get? We got let's try this combo. And my favorite character in the entire game, Cassandra. Cause she's the best. She's simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. It's like, I'm gonna romance someone else. Which if you're playing the heterosexual romance, it usually means another character. There's just one another character. But I never do. I never do. I just can't help myself. Any comparison to yeah, well, I'm gonna sell it anyway. I've got a magic sword that I need to sell because no other character uses a two-handed except for Iron Bull, the Iron Bull, which is the guy with the horns. And my last character.
Right there and there, no gaps. Remember how to carry your shields. You're not hiding, you're holding. Otherwise, it's useless.
Blackwall. Warden Blackwall.
You're not. How do you know my name? Who said that? That's it. Help or get out. We're dealing with these idiots first. Conscripts, here they come!
They were not expecting mages. Haha.
Sorry, bastards. Good work, conscripts. Even if this shouldn't have happened, they could have...
And
well,
Beck Dexter, if you never played any other games from BioWare, you're willing to endure the very hard games, you can go all the way back to Baldur's Gate. You can find them on a GOG and try that first, and then work your way up. Jade Empire, I say the port is not that good for PC, but it's workable. So
You're no farmer. Why do you know my name? Who are you?
I know your name because I'm an agent of the Inquisition. I'm investigating whether the disappearance of Wardens has anything to do with the murder of the Divine.
Maker's balls. The Wardens and the Divine. That can't... No, you're asking so you don't really know. First off, I didn't know they disappeared. But we do that, right? No more blight, job done. Wardens are the first thing forgotten. But one thing I'll tell you, no Warden killed the Divine. Our purpose isn't political.
Not here to accuse, not yet. I just need information. I've only found you. Where are the rest?
I haven't seen any Wardens for months. I travel alone, recruiting. Not much interest because the Archdemon is a decade dead, and no need to conscript because there's no blight coming. Treaties give Wardens the right to take what we need, who we need. These idiots forced this fight, so I conscripted their victims. They had to do what I said, so I told them to stand. Next time, they won't need me. Grey Wardens can inspire. Make you better than you think you are.
I wasn't aware Grey Wardens could take whatever they want.
It's complicated. If there's a blight, everyone has to help the effort to fight it. The treaties are ancient. Outside of blights, it's as binding as a clever tongue can make it.
Do you have any idea where the other Wardens could have gone?
Maybe they returned to our stronghold at Weishaupt? That's in the Anderfels, a long way north. I don't really know. Can't imagine why they'd all disappear at once, let alone where they disappear to.
Why haven't you gone missing like the rest of them?
Well, maybe I was going to. Or maybe there's a new directive, but a runner got lost or something. My job was to recruit on my own. Plan to stay that way for months. Years.
It's been a pleasure, Warden Blackwall, but this didn't help at all.
Inquisition. Agent, did you say? Hold a moment. The Divine is dead and the sky is torn. Events like these, thinking we're absent is almost as bad as thinking we're involved.
I like Blackwall Story. If you know Blackwall Story, don't mess it up for anybody else who might not.
The Inquisition needs all the support it can get. But what can one Grey Warden do?
Save the fucking world if pressed. Look, maybe fighting demons from the sky isn't something I'm practiced at. But show me someone who is. And like I said, there are treaties. Maybe this isn't a blight, but it's bloody well a disaster. Some will honor them. Being a warden means something to a lot of people.
Warden Blackwall, the Inquisition accepts your offer.
Good to hear. We both need to
Hi
know
there,
what's
Rocky.
going on.
How are you doing?
And perhaps
Welcome to
I've
the
been
program.
keeping to myself for too long. This warden walks with the Inquisition.
I just finished my my recruitment efforts. Now I have all these fellows. We're back in the oh, another mage staff. I got a lot of those. Gotta start selling them. Vivian, what do you got for me, my dear? The Iron Bull. Cassandra. Okay. It's one of my favorites. Second only to Dragon Age Origins, of course. The Elysian Empire. Okay, we know about the Elysian Empire. By the way, if you know anything about this game, please don't spoil it for anybody else in chat who might be... You can die pretending you'll be earn back your soldier's honor. You can do something the skillless son of a bitch taught you. Spend some time with the boys, blah, blah, blah. That's the first clue that what you've seen is not what you thought it was. Ah, the decorative gems. I guess I gotta kill more bandits and get more gems. More blood lotus. Oh. I took care of the mages. Now I have to take care of the... It is indeed the shit.
That move you performed in our last fight was well executed, Bull. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Seeker. I'd be happy to teach you.
If you had done that in our last sparring match, you might have won.
Then it's time for a rematch.
Masterwork 30 Bianca. Okay. More stuff for Varric. Varric the man. Carta.
Or Carter, taking advantage of the circle's fall to smuggle lyrium.
What was that? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Working our way to the road, I was like, what the? I was like, I forgot that we have alarms and thingies that say when we're being followed. By the way, if you want to support the channel, we are working on our way to the road to affiliate. We already have 50 plus followers, but we do need those views. We need at least 3 views, an average per day. If you're interested, I usually post. Thank you, Rocky. By the way, I appreciate it. Post the schedule about daily, updated. I wish I could post it more often, but sometimes changes have to happen, you know, at the last minute. I rarely be able to keep my schedule like tightly. I mean, I do stream regularly, 2 o'clock Eastern US and at 8 o'clock Eastern US, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends I post something different. Whether it's a game design document or anything else. So if you're interested, you want to support the channel, just put in the views is the best way to support. Now, we'll be playing this game until we'll be playing this game until Monster Hunter drops, which should be on August 9th, a couple of days from now. And then see what Monster Hunter has to offer. And then probably finish this game. We'll finish the game with all the DLC. Right now I don't have all the DLC, but I'm really interested in DLCs like Trespasser. So played with all the DLC, which were not available for the 360. Poor Red. I don't think I ever done the Velveteen thing. Ram leather. Fennec leather. Poor baby. I hate killing the Fennecs. I really do. It's like, I don't want to kill you, but I'm a mage with area attacks that I'm not careful how I sling things, so... Actually... I like that I can... Okay, Varric, Sola's not getting... You're getting Lyrium potions. because I'm gonna need them later for the dragon fights. I will, for example, so after I do Monster Hunter, which I think takes about 2 weeks to stream, or so, I'll probably finish this game because I always wanted to stream Inquisition, but the last time I modded the game and the game didn't like the modding, so it was like, nope. We're gonna slow down and we're not gonna agree to that. I mean, played fine outside of stream, but it streamed, you know, it was very Yankee in the stream. This game was clearly optimized for consoles, and so it does have some problems with PCs. He didn't follow. He didn't last too long. And by the way, I know that I shouldn't overstay my welcome here in the hinterlands as well. Character records. This is one thing that, yeah, it's typical of role-playing games, but does break the flow of the action. This guy's getting. In Origins, I always play a fighter. For some reason, I always go for that. But here, I always play the mage. It's just flashy enough that I like it. The other classes just don't have that flair, you know. They have their special abilities and all that, but they don't simply have the flair and flexibility of the mage. And here the mages are more, they're not as squishy as other versions of the games. I like it. Of course, this game doesn't play exactly like Origins. I mean, you can play like Origins. It does have the overview, but it's... So I like sword and board when I'm playing Origins, and mages when I'm playing everything else. So that's how I break down the favorite classes. I try playing other classes. Also, the fact that the other classes, well, I always have a feeling that I want to play the class and that fits the story the best. And in Origins, it almost always is the Kuslans, right? And the Kuslans don't have mages; they have to be fighters or rogues.
Templars have secured a position ahead.
And here, I think, is always the, you know, mages. decorated gems, but not the other thing I need. I hope that answers your question, Rocky. Some people don't like the changes they made for Inquisition. It's more actiony, more. But I actually like it. But I like it because, of course, the AI of the AI here is a bit smarter and doesn't need to be babysat like in Origins. But of course, in Origins, you have to be more tactical. I mean, the spells in Origins. I wish they kept the Fireball from Origins, because that spell alone was pretty OP. Like, not only sets you on fire, but puts you in your ass. This guy's insane. Like, he's getting pummeled by magic and everything else, and he thinks he can win.
Safer on the King's Road now.
Maybe I should play Origins later on this year. Probably Origins might be my Christmas game. The Swedish fingers. I have to look at what ask. Okay, let's see if that weapon actually is useful for Cassandra. Nope, it's a waste of time. The Swedish. She's not yet. I gotta level up first. Also, I love the dragon fights in this game. Most of them are tough, but they're fun. You really have to, Ironbark. Nice. Nice. I always, in every playthrough I do, I kill all of the dragons. Which means I always do a very long playthrough. You will probably be surprised or not that I played this game originally on the 360. And if you think some of the things that you're seeing here don't look very well, like the hairdos, oh dear gods in heaven, how it looks on the 360 is... yeah, I know people are like fashionista games. I don't care. I don't really care. The only concession to fashion I have is I don't give them helmets. I mean, they have helmets, but you don't see them. That's it. I don't care. I always look for the best stats. I do recognize that some of the stuff is just downright ugly, but it's like, hey, can I kill people faster with this? Can I? Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Well, the reason the 360 was terrible is multiple things. First of all, this game was clearly built for what was back then the next generation, right? And second, it also used the letter found on a dead body. Take it back, take it back, take it back. Dreams don't stop until you take it back to the Western Fortress. They will never stop. You will wake up screaming and find notes written. Okay. That's creepy. I'll see the horse master. And second, and this is a problem with this game in general, I think it's not properly optimized, especially for PC, ironically enough. You think PC has more flexibility, is that it runs on the Frostbite engine. And because EA wants to save money, they have made everybody and their grandparent and their grandmother run their games on the Frostbite engine. An engine that was clearly designed for one purpose and one purpose only, Battlefield games. I don't like killing dogs or wolves in games. I really don't. I guess you gotta. Like doggies, no. Doggies are good. Why are you killing
No
dogs?
normal wolf would fight with such determination.
Perhaps the breach drove them mad.
Perhaps. Like doggies, no. Why are you killing the dogs? Redcliffe Farms.
Ah, that's some good armor.
Are you referring to me?
Some high-ranking women wear ornamental crap with tits hammered into it. One good shot, and all that cleavage gets knocked right into the sternum. Real messy. Good on you for going practical.
I aim to please.
Leave something to the imagination, too.
I like that Iron Bull is such a bad flirt. He's like, yes, I'm going to talk about being practical, but by the way, yes, you have wonderful knockers, so, you know. Yes, in Skyrim, the wolves are very annoying. And well, the wolves in Skyrim are designed essentially to give you leather, right? For crafting. That's what they're there for. That's why there's so many of them. Like, oh, you need a constant source of leather.
Set up camp.
Yeah, let's set up camp. So there we are. That's what they're there for. Sphere of Precision. There's a riff around here, but I need to be level 10 or higher in order to get that to that riff. Well, to that other riff. But I can knock this one out. Druffalos. Now, let's talk about the Druffalos for a second, because it's very interesting. I was saying this earlier today. What kind of creatures fantasy games and sci-fi games decide to be normal, you know, like have wolves or, you know, normal for us, you know, real world creatures, and then which creatures they decide to keep as fantasy creatures, right? And here, in earlier versions of the game, you had cows. But they decided that cows were too common, I suppose. And so they took an animal that was supposed to be like, which is clearly based on a D&D creature, which is like an underground cow. I forgot the name of it. And they decided, well, we're gonna put the Druffalo here. No more cows. We have Druffalo. And it falls under the rule of as reality, unless noted otherwise. So wolves are creatures that you would find in our own reality, right? Druffalo, not so much. Okay, let me character record. Let's see who has. He doesn't have. Will he get low battle, pommel strike, whirlwind? No. Cassandra. No. Yeah. think no. I think that ring is for. Let me see accessories. Amulet power, amulet ring, lighting, status cage, Mercy's craze, enhanced block and slash ring. Examine, increase ability. Yeah, but it's for warriors only. So, what's the name of the ability again? Block and slash. So I think that's a shield thing. I don't see it. I don't see it as a... I'll give it to the it sounds like an ability that that would be cool. But I know that that doesn't happen in any of the DLC. So, I know the Kunari. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you know about this here, the Kunari are heavily involved in one of the DLC.
This must be Master Dennett.
So you're the Inquisition, eh? Here you're trying to bring order back. It's high time someone did. Never thought it'd be a mage, though. Redcliffe's had enough trouble with magic already. Name's Dennett. I served our Lehman for 30 years as horsemaster. I hear your Inquisition is looking for mounts.
It is. Can you help us?
Not at the moment. I can't just send 100 of the finest horses in Ferelden down the road like you send a letter. Every bandit between here and Haven would be on them like flies on crap. You'll have mounts once I know they won't
I like
end up as
Dennett.
a cold winter's breakfast.
If you have a problem with me personally, I'd like to know about it.
What? Because of what I said about mages? All the trouble magic's causing around here might well take a mage to fix it. That's all I meant. My wife Elena manages the farms and
Yeah, that's all you
my
meant.
guards. They'll tell you what they need. Until then, you deserve something better than whatever knock-kneed plow-neck they gave you. The chestnut over there is a purebred Ferelden forder. Take care of him, and he'll take care of you, Inquisition.
Okay, I need to do these things in this area, but I'm under leveled, so what's this? I'm under level, so I'm not gonna do them. I need to be level 10 or 11. Otherwise, I'm gonna get slaughtered when I try to take on that riff. Hard in Hightown. I'm not gonna read that. Oh, by the way, for people who love, I like the banners. They like their tie-in fiction. Hard in Hightown is now being defictionalized, i.e., it's a real novel. Okay, I need to find shards in the Winterland. Okay, we don't need to do that. What we need to find are the things for recruitment. I need to find these things for Whittle. So let's find things for Whittle. Let's finish that quest, which is one of the basic quests. I also need to, grind levels. So there we go. So on DLC, the DLC I really want to. I want to play all the DLC because all of them are pretty interesting. But I think the one that everybody, it's a must, is Trespasser DLC, which is it's like a postscript DLC of what happens after the end of Inquisition, and it has some very interesting stuff tied to the elves. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the characters is heavily involved. So I want to see what they did with that. I think that's pretty cool overall. But unlike the game itself, you can only buy Dragon Age on Origin, and Origin is not giving a discount on DLC. So it's like, you bastards. So I'll have to wait. After I drop $60 on it'll be a while after I drop $60 on Monster Hunter PC. I gotta go back to Haven and oh.
You hear that? Someone's in trouble.
I need to change characters real quick. Can I do that here? No. I need to change characters because nope. Come on. Because I need Master Thethras. I like the two characters I actually like from Dragon Age 2 are Varric and Cassandra. But I'm gonna shut my mouth, and the less I say about Dragon Age 2, the better. Let's just leave it at that. I'm hoping that the Dragon Age 4, or whatever they call it, will be in Tevinter. It won't be with the Inquisition. I don't know which other group they're going to use or which hero they're going to have. But it's going to be in Tevinter. I'm hoping that they use a time magic mechanic that we just discovered, because that has a lot of interesting nuances to it. And it also ties in with my thoughts on where they got the whole idea to do this game in the first place. Because this game, it's more, to me, it's the Dragonlands to the Forgotten Realms of Baldur's Gate.
Do you need anything? I should probably report back.
This is a mage.
Eldreda, yes. I think that was her name. At least I'd heard other apostates call her that.
Yeah.
Looks like someone was having a picnic.
Yes. The mage must have been hunting for blood magic. The Templars attacked the apostate. I suppose I just got caught in the middle. So, the truth. I may have been, passing time with Eldreda.
You were trying to find a moment's peace in the midst of this war.
Yes. At first she was just a mage who saw me and didn't attack, but later we... So, are you going to report me?
Look, kid, if you can talk an apostate out of her pants in the middle of a war, you've got a gift. Use it. Make contacts, get information, and help the Inquisition. Do that, and our lips are sealed.
All right. I can do that. And thanks for going easy on me.
So Ritz was trying to canoodle with a female elven mage, and the Templars found her and they murdered the mage. And I'm supposed to sympathize with the Templars? Nope. No can do. Sorry. It's kind of hard to do that when they actually murdered people who were just having, well, sex, basically.
I hear reconstruction is progressing well in Kirkwall.
I know things are bad there.
I wasn't trying to...
You weren't trying to remind me how bad it is in Kirkwall, so you decided to talk about it?
About its recovery.
What you're talking about are the buildings, and even that will take years. People don't recover so easily.
That's true. That is very true. Okay, let's take care of this first. Forget that I can disrupt. I got a dispel now. I can disrupt. Can dispel the summonings on Phaedrus. Forget to use that. That's why I put all those points there. It's like, yeah, dummy. Use the ability. Use it, dumbass. Now I can find the apostate catch. I want to say cachet, but it's not French, so. Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can find the last one. Now, a lot of people hate these little side quests because they do tend to eat up a lot of time. I don't mind them so much. I think I minded it. I said this before. I minded them more in Mass Effect Andromeda because they were not properly done. Like here, you can go to a place, do a bunch of them, clean them out, and you can backtrace if you want to, but you don't have to unless you're a completionist. It's not a big deal. Not really. Oh,
a Templar, I believe.
Well, he was a Templar. Now he's dead. So you don't have to do that. But in Andromeda, it was like you have this planet and you have to go back to the planet, and this thing had to be done in 3 or 4 planets, and it was a bit messy and not well thought out. Had they done it a little better, it would have been much easier, but in that game it really felt like filler. Where here, well, here what happens in the later game, at least for me, is that you leave like a third of the game undone unless you really want to explore those places, because you don't have to, because they don't give you enough experience points to really be worth it. Once you sort of top out, I think at level 15 or 16 or whatever, or 20 something, you're like, eh. Although I suppose when you play the DLC, they'll have new powers and abilities, so there's that. By the way, elf fruit is weed. That's what it is. Canary buckler, which is a gray. Oh, he's dead already? Okay. Imagine all the people. Why do I keep killing rams? I don't need to kill rams anymore, man. I guess this guy was protecting this cache, as it were. Ah, Ice Keeper stuff. Weapons. Vivian, what do you got? Okay, never mind. See, that's one of the things about getting all, you know, loot mill situation, which is you end up getting like blues and purples that are like, this is worthless because it's too low level. You're like, red lyrium.
Red lyrium. Whoever this dwarf was, he was in over his head.
Nugs instead of rabbits. Oh, I think you do see some rabbits around. Nugs are supposed to be like pig rabbits, hairless pig rabbits. Slice and dice. Well, we do have one member more that we have to recruit, but since I sided to the mages, we won't see him just yet. Hard shield. Enhanced long shotgun. I'm gonna give that one to Sarah. Sarah. Oh, da, 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 da. Oh. That was the cabin key that I needed. But we're going back to the start. I'm going right here. turning that quest. And then we're going to go back to Haven. Should be Heaven, but it's said Haven. We'll go back to Haven. And see if we can upgrade our equipments. Just to break up the monotony of the hinterlands. We actually like the hinterlands quite a bit, but yeah, can be a bit too much, I suppose.
Cole will claim some of them soon. I found some of the apostate supply stores. I can mark the locations for you.
I'll get out there myself with a few men and pick them up. This will keep a lot more refugees alive next time it snows. I appreciate it.
Haven. Oh, let's talk to the mage and recruit her while we're at it. The more power we have, the better. Enchanter Elandro.
I have heard stories about you, Herald of Andraste. I am Enchanter Elendro. I hope you find a way to end this foolish war.
I believe this is your phylactery. I found it on the body of a dead Templar named Matrin.
Ah, I suspected he died when he did not join me or send word. Maker curse the fools who started this war, and the fools who now fight it. Thank you. Matrin was important to me. Here, for your trouble.
I'd like to know more about you and Matrin.
Ah, Templars and mages. Natural enemies, they always say. As though you can keep healthy men and women close to each other for years without anyone getting ideas. We were friends for many years, and lovers for many more. And now he is gone because of this war.
You haven't joined the rebels or the refugees. Are you on your own?
Yes, it is safer that way. For everyone. At first, I used my healing skills to help the refugees. But when the Templars saw me, they attacked. Innocent people died in that battle. I will endanger no more.
The Inquisition could use the skills of a powerful mage.
If I wished to kill others, I would have joined the rebels. How is the Inquisition any better?
I came from the Circle myself. I know something of the conflict, and I didn't join the rebels either.
True enough. If the Inquisition believes I can help, then I will do what I can. My skills are yours. Just give me a moment to gather my things.
That's an interesting little side note of how, for example, you have, mages join up with Templars and the like. Like, they're not always enemies. Of course, there's all those notes you can find later that show that the Templars could be particularly abusive in ways that I do not want to describe on stream. Nor the game's actually described, but hints at strongly. We're talking about sexual abuse here. Just so, there's a big hint. It's like, again, wow. I mean, any time where you have such a disparity of power, not actual physical power, which is ironic because the mages, one would think, would be more powerful than someone wielding a sword. Somebody able to cast a fireball that can incinerate like 5 to 10 people at the same time is far more powerful. But disparity in socioeconomic status, and literally you have a hierarchy that is designed to keep the mages in check, right? Is something that apprentice code, sturdy, hunter, scout, my arms. My armor right now is 92. Okay, so I don't need a new armor. Okay, I get it. Okay, let's see if that works. Weapons. Blackwall. Blackwall needs weapons. He could use this. And this. Okay. Okay, he's not high enough. Okay, he has that. Vivian, Enchanter's Coat, Blackwall, Sarah. Accessories, Leaping Shot. Actually, no. Well, yeah. Cassandra. She's frontline. Okay. Iron Bow weapons. Yeah, you can't use it. Okay, he has that already. Varric, Solus, Vivian. Okay. Let me see if I can make something better here. Leaf mace. Oh, wow. Okay, I can make a leaf. That's why I gathered all that iron. I need leather.
Good.
Better than the Swedish fingers, right? Wait, what happened? Wait, didn't I just give him... Blackwall. What happened? Okay, what happened to the... Okay. What happened to the thing that I just... Right? I literally made a club that he could use, and now he doesn't have it. Did I give it to Cassandra by mistake? No. Oh, I give it to Iron Bull, who doesn't need it, because he has this. Ah. There you go. What armor do you have, my friend? Okay. So now let's modify armor. I think... and Sarah. Yeah, this takes quite a bit of time doing all this.
Looks fine. You need something? Let...
Okay, Varric.
Good.
Let's talk to Blackwall. Yeah, that's it's one thing that can be very time consuming, doing all the going back and forth, selling, buying. I wish I could find a game that actually did that very well.
To be that close.
If I hadn't been saved by Inquisition soldiers, I don't know what would have happened.
Inquisition soldiers? That's not what I've heard. The Breach, the Divine's death, the Wardens. It doesn't make sense. There's so much we don't know.
Your experience with the Wardens will certainly be useful.
Mostly the treaties, I expect. Old parchments you're welcome to. What about you? How do you fit into all this?
Some worship me? I like that. I'm not sure yet. I want peace.
It's been a whirlwind. It's hard to say where I fit.
I guess we'll have to figure that out. For me, I'll be satisfied so long as we find the bastards that killed the Divine. They owe us some answers.
Indeed they do. Indeed they do. Oh, you have more for me, huh?
I've heard rumors of abandoned Warden camps all over these parts. If we have time, I'd like to take a look. See if there's anything we can salvage.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I expected more. More men, better equipment. You may have Andraste's favor, but wars are won by men, soldiers.
Avoiding war altogether would be ideal.
True enough. Still, it never hurts to be prepared. One thing I will say about your men. They're passionate, devoted. You inspire them. Build on that foundation, and you will have an army that makes nations tremble.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Am I in charge? I didn't know that. I guess I am, being the player character. Of course. Okay, time to sell stuff. I mean, I could have sold stuff back then, but... Yep. He better.
Need something?
Tell me about Red
Red
Lyrium.
lyrium we found at the temple
Randomly
seems
talk
to
about
have
Red Lyrium because why
My
not?
brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered Red Lyrium during an expedition in the Deep Roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the thaig it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the Deep Roads? That's not a cheery thought.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Oh, make her hear my cry. Seat me by your side. You say so.
Warden Blackwall. Seems to be a good man.
He'll be an asset if we have to fight Darkspawn, at least.
Grey Wardens can kill anything from crawls, walks, or flies.
I need more
Thanks
velveteen.
for checking anyway. I don't understand. Even the Templars have left the Chantry now. What's going to happen?
The Chantry doesn't know what it's doing any longer. Listen to Seeker Pendergast. She'll find a way to seal that breach. And when she does...
Let's talk to my not-so-favorite mage.
You came from the Circle at Ostwick, did you not? Senior Enchanter Lydia was a dear friend of mine. Were you at all acquainted?
Lydia was my instructor. She was almost a mother to me.
I never met a wiser soul than her. I understand she was killed by one of her own students when the Ostwick Circle rebelled. I think we both agree that this war must end.
The war benefits no one. It must end, and order must be restored.
If only the rebels saw things so clearly. Justinia's death has shattered the balance of power in Thedas. If it is not restored quickly, countless lives will be lost. Mages, Templars, innocent people of all kinds now look to the Inquisition to decide their fate.
That's why you wanted to be here. To have a hand in deciding that fate.
Wouldn't you? For almost 1,000 years, the world believed it was in the hands of the Maker. And now many believe you are the agent of his will. Whatever the truth is, that belief gives you power.
It's interesting. The choices that the designers made are very interesting. You have a black woman. Sure, this is fantasy. But she's a black woman in a society that she has personal power in the form of being a mage. But she doesn't have political power, status. And she has arisen to power in spite of that. And now she has chosen to side with the power structure itself, as opposed to what you normally would think of being her being a rebel, right? It's an interesting choice of
Once this is over, the task of speaking for the Maker will be the Chantry's problem again.
That's reassuring to hear. I've stolen enough of your time, my dear. Don't let me keep you.
For she who trusts in the Maker,
Mother Giselle.
Thank you for all that you are doing.
As the
Greetings,
moth sees
Herald
light
of
and
Andraste.
goes toward flame,
How fares your quest to
she
seal the
should
breach?
see fire and go towards light.
People are frustrating me.
Not as well as it should. How can people focus on trivialities when faced with the breach?
It is easy for us to imagine that mundane matters fall aside in tumultuous times. The chant of light does not
And yet,
speak
yes,
of
she
feeding
married yet another black
arranging
woman who is
or any such
an
mundane
enforcer to a degree
But
of the status quo.
organizational
She is a sister, she's a leader of the chantry. Although clearly the leadership of most of the nations and most of Zetas is white, is coded white.
You keep talking as though I'm the equal of Andraste. Do you know how unnerving that is?
I can only imagine. But we are all given to our purpose.
And again, that's a very interesting choice by the designers. And these choices are not made lightly. They're like, oh, we're just going to have a black character in a position of
I
authority.
do not see that as a
At least
bad
it shouldn't be.
In any case, I pray this Inquisition
I find it interesting.
proves less
Right.
brutal than it
But of course, people say, well, don't read too much into it.
Help you or your people?
Well, that's the narrative they're presenting. That's a narrative element they're presenting to the character, right? Both of setting and character.
If you could deliver this list and the items on it to Quartermaster Thren, she could get us what we need. It may not seem like much, but it would enable my healers to save many lives.
Farewell, revered mother.
Farewell.
The apothecary would like to know why you need so much death root.
To do my job.
Oh, I'll just tell him that, Enchanter.
Right? And,
Have you seen Enchanter Vivienne? Is arrogant. It is not arrogant to be unafraid.
I don't understand. I thought the Chant of Light bound us all together.
The Chant of Light is beautiful, sister, but it's just work.
let's see what we have here. And where we're going to...
Apothecary what you need right away. Thank you.
I don't think I have enough power to do the whole mage thing just yet, or the level for it. I should be a couple of levels higher. Shouldn't rush it. But at the same time, you know, trivialities, right? Secrets, arcane knowledge, enhanced studies. Well, I'm level 7s, right?
Let us begin. Let's see what we have.
To work?
Okay, here's a big decision time. Should I go with the mages or the Templars? I think we'll know we're going to go with the mages. It just makes perfect sense, at least to me. So we're going to do that.
We don't have the manpower to take the castle. Either we find another way in, or give up this nonsense and go and get the Templars.
Redcliffe is in the hands of a Magister. This cannot be allowed to stand.
The letter from Alexius asked for the Herald of Andraste by name. It's an obvious trap.
Isn't that kind of him? What does Alexius say about me?
He's so complimentary that we are certain he wants to kill you.
Not this again.
Redcliffe Castle is one of the most defensible fortresses in Ferelden. It has repelled thousands of assaults. If you go in there, you'll die. And we'll lose the only means we have of closing these rifts. I won't allow it.
And if we don't even try to meet Alexius, we lose the mages and leave a hostile foreign power on our doorstep.
Even if we could assault the keep, it would be for naught. An Orlesian Inquisition's army marching into Ferelden would provoke a war. Our hands are tied.
The Magister
has outplayed us.
The Magister's son, Felix, told me Alexius is in a cult that's obsessed with me. I doubt they'll graciously receive our apologies and go about their business.
They will remain a threat, and a powerful one, unless we act.
We cannot accept defeat now. There must be a solution.
Where is the Jarl of Redcliffe? I'm sure he'd help us get his castle back.
After he was displaced, Arl Tegan rode straight for Dunnerin to petition the Crown for help. I doubt he'll want our assistance once the Ferelden army lays siege to his castle.
Wait. There is a secret passage into the castle, an escape route for the family. It's too narrow for our troops, but we could send agents through.
Too risky. Those agents will be discovered well before they reach the Magister.
That's why we need a distraction. Perhaps the envoy Alexius wants so badly.
Focus their attention on Trevelyan, while we take out the Tevinters. It's risky, but it could work.
Fortunately, you'll have help.
This man says he has information about the Magister and his methods, Commander.
Your spies will never get past Alexius's magic without my help. So if you're going after him, I'm coming along.
The plan puts you in the most danger. We can't in good conscience order you to do this. We can still go after the Templars if you'd rather not play the bait. It's up to you.
Yes, let's go after the mages. Redcliffe. Question is, what do I bring? No, not Solus. I'm gonna need a rogue, and that rogue is gonna be Varric. Yes. And my sweet, sweet Cassandra. Which I will see suffer, but so be it. Haven. I would like to speak to Oyo Haven, the village in the forest back close to the Temple of Sacred Ashes. We are always aware of this pass. Let's come to the disciples of Andraste, blah, blah, blah. End of story. Okay, never mind. No Haven in Redcliffe. I like to say that the Venator, the
The
Tevinters.
Magister's invitation was for Master Trevelyan alone. The others must wait here.
If my friends can't enter, then I won't go in either.
Are you gonna push it? Very well then. Like me, yeah, bitch, move. The customs are pretty elaborate, I gotta say.
My Lord Magister, the agents of the Inquisition have arrived.
My friend, it's so good to see you again. And your associates, of course. I'm sure we can work out some arrangement that is equitable to all parties.
Are we mages to have no voice in deciding our fate?
Fiona, you would not have turned your followers over to my care if you did not trust me with their lives.
If the Grand Enchanter wants to be part of these talks, then I welcome her as a guest of the Inquisition.
Thank you.
The Inquisition needs mages to close the breach, and I have them. So, what shall you offer?
Yes, he's not a villain. He doesn't have this squealing snake in his.
Actually, I hoped you could tell me about these Venatori I'm hearing so much about.
Now, where could you have heard that name?
I told him.
Felix, what have you done?
Your son is concerned that you're involved in something terrible.
So speaks the thief. Do you think you can turn my son against me? You walk into my stronghold with your stolen mark, a gift you don't even understand, and think you're in control. You're nothing but a mistake.
If I'm a mistake, what exactly was the breach supposed to accomplish?
It was to be a triumphant moment for the Elder One, for this world.
Father, listen to yourself. Do you know what you sound like?
He sounds exactly like the sort of villainous cliché everyone expects us to be.
Dorian, I gave you a chance to be a part of this. You turned me down. The Elder One has power you would not believe. He will raise the Imperium from its own ashes.
Blah blah, my cult is better than yours. I've heard it 1,000 times.
Well, you know, it's a chance for the Imperium to really one-up that whole starting the Blight thing.
He will make the world bow to mages once more. We will rule from the Boric Ocean to the frozen seas.
You can't involve my people in this.
Alexius, this is exactly what you and I talked about never wanting to happen. Why would you support this?
Stop it, Father. Give up the Venatori. Let the Southern Mages fight the breach, and let's go home.
No, it's the only way, Felix. He can save you.
Save me?
There is a way. The Elder One promised, if I undo the mistake at the temple.
I'm going to die. You need to accept that.
Seize them, Venatori. The Elder One demands this man's life.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Your men are dead, Alexius.
You are a mistake. You should never have existed.
Well, that was surprising. I go, what's going on now? I don't know. You tell me.
Blood of the Elder One. Where'd they come from?
Oh. From your mother's womb.
Interesting. It's probably not what Alexius intended. The rift must have moved us to what? The closest confluence of arcane energy?
The last thing I remember, we were in the castle hall.
Let's see. If we're still in the castle, it isn't. Oh, of course, it's not simply where, it's when. Alexius used the amulet as a focus. It moved us through time.
Did we go forward in time or back? And how far?
Those are excellent questions. We'll have to find out, won't we? Let's look around, see where the rift took us. Then we can figure out how to get back. If we can.
What was Alexius trying to do?
I believe his original plan was to remove you from time completely. If that happened, you would never have been at the Temple of Sacred Ashes or mangled his Elder One's plan. I think your surprise in the castle hall made him reckless. He tossed us into the rift before he was ready. I countered it. The magic went wild, and here we are. Make sense?
It just seems so insane.
I don't even want to think about what this will do to the fabric of the world. We didn't travel through time so much as punch a hole through it and toss it into the privy. But don't worry. I'm here. I'll protect you.
Oh, thank you, Dorian. That's cute.
Alexius mentioned an Elder One in the hall. Do you know who he was talking about?
Leader of the Venatori, I suspect. Some Magister aspiring to godhood. It's the same old tune. Let's play with magic we don't understand. It will make us incredibly powerful. Evidently, it doesn't matter if you rip apart the fabric of time in the process.
There were others in the hall. Could they have been drawn through the rift?
I doubt it was large enough to bring the whole room through. Alexius wouldn't risk catching himself or Felix in it. They're probably still where and when we left them. In some sense, anyway.
You have a plan to get us back, I hope?
I have some thoughts on that. They're lovely thoughts, like little jewels.
No, let's say that's a soft no. He has no clue what he's doing. Like, I have ideas. Ideas are nice, but let's make him play with fire. Well, let's give him a barrier. Barriers is always good. Let's make him a fire mage. No, wait. Dorian. No. Oh, I messed up. Dorian. I think we're gonna leave it here. We're now stuck somewhere in time. And by tomorrow, we're gonna find out exactly where and why. But for now, we're gonna leave it here. Thank you for Rocky TG for the follow. If you want to support the channel, of course, you're more than welcome. Thank you for all that. And we're gonna save it, and leave it, and pick it up tomorrow. So thank you all for coming, and as always, we will see you when we see you. Bye.